Okay, yeah, I'm trying to get the phone set up with the right height, the angle, and the lighting and everything. So yeah, so normally, like when I'm involved anything with, like, you know, when I like practice drums, I normally wear like a skull cap or whatever, and I kind of got used to it for a while. But yeah, normally it was only then when I used to do that. But anyway, yeah. So anyway, I have a new view here. It's really not a new view. It's just it has a little bit more lighting in the way of what it's like showing right there. And I mentioned before that that what you're seeing up there, you know, by the air conditioner, those are actually only two different types of FX laser lighting, and each of them have multiple patterns, and from that point, from multiple patterns to sequences and involving fading, flashing, strobing, superimposiums, as well as the combinations and sequences of the patterns. Some of them are like programmed as automation or voice activated, depending on which one it is. And I have a new one that's like predominantly it's really different than any of them that I've had, and I like it. So I'm looking at a little bit more. Yeah, but I thought I'd just get a little look at this right now to see really what I think about the lighting with it. And yeah, so I'm gonna probably try and let me try something here. Yeah, I think I will do something right here. It's a little high, yeah. Okay, how's that? Yeah. That's a little more it. Yeah. Okay. Alright, great. Yeah. So, you know, like I say, I have my guitar set up here. Actually, I practice my twirling my drumsticks, and I just got a guitar. I was really wanting, and I'm eventually going to get it as the John Petrucci, the Ernie Ball Music Man, John Petrucci Majesty 270, or the Majesty 7, or yeah. Anyway, that's predominantly what I'm ultimately looking at. And it was the I believe it's pronounced the Curling Paradise. It was like a real cool, very nice finish, and I saw that finish is really what, you know, really caught my attention, plus the way it was designed. So anyway, that's just something I've always wanted to do anyway, and actually find the time without any type of you know, other issues going on. Well then, yeah, that'll be like really good, so I can like direct some time likewise into because I'd like to be able to play the lead guitar really as good as I do my drums, but it's just something I'd like to do. Plus, you know, like the synthesizer is like more like a natural, kind of like my drums, really, because my grandmother, when I was in diapers, her moving my arms to the beat of, like, you know, bongos, and moving my arms and stuff like that to the beat of the music, like at a very early age in diapers, and it like stayed with me in my entire life, really. But anyway, yeah. So in any case, like I'd like to be able to do that with the lead guitar, and really the synthesizer, it's really just about as natural as it would be, because everything's like in chronological order, and the way I have my drum set, and it's pretty much that my drum set is truthfully set up that way, with a 180, kind of like a 180, you know, from side to side, like a straight line in front of me there, from side to side, yeah. So I have a little bit, really more than 180 degrees of like drums and cymbals and effects, signal processors and stuff like that, and with all my drums mic'd up and cymbals mic'd up, as well as I've got a couple of Yamaha E8010 drum module signal processors, one for each bass. I was kind of hoping that really that one would be able to do it. Excuse me. And when I purchased my first Yamaha E8010 drum module signal processor, it came with the one E8010 like bass drum hoop mount that has like 2 microphones and 1 trigger, and that's really all I needed, was just an additional one and maybe splice in. I was thinking, well, you know, if I was going to pan it, you know, or get a you know, I don't know if I would call it like a quadraphonic panoramic type of a setup, you know, as far as like miking goes. You know, if it's going to be like in stereo, it's not going to necessarily sound. It's not going to necessarily sound maybe from like, you know, when a drummer's playing his drums, like from, you know, the high toms normally for a right-handed drummer or like normally by the hi-hat on the left side. And for me personally, it's like a chronological from smallest to largest, and that's the way truthfully I've always been. I haven't really changed my setup in that way. It was just like something, you know, when I first started going to concerts, that's the way everyone had it. And it was like one of the first things I'd seen, my first double bass drum set with any band. It was like on a late night Wolfman Jack. So Saturday night, the thing about that, yeah. Anyway, yeah, so there were like really a lot of good bands on there. And that's where I really, like, you know, must have been maybe, I don't know, maybe 8 to 10 years old, maybe, when I first started watching that, like on weekends or whatever. But anyway, yes, I already knew what my drum set was going to look like at that age, and I knew it would eventually do it. But anyway, yeah, so in that way, you know, right now I'm just in my room right now, looking at the lighting, because this is just in here for a little while. I have some lighting in the other room, and I'm getting I'm probably going to get maybe 2 or 3 more effects lighting, maybe 1 more fog machine, maybe, and have 2 going. I have just only 1 right now. 1 is really doing a really good job right now with the music videos that I've been making. And predominantly, you know, my ultimate goal is really getting to the point of actually getting to where the arranging it in such a way that it'll be a very good portfolio. And you know, when I first started getting my equipment, I mean, it was kind of like, you know, for like years I had to kind of wait for a while. Anyway, so like when I had the opportunity, I mean, I started getting it and just getting it. I mean, and keep getting it. So like really, I've been doing that really for like about 4 or 5 years now, just continually, like progressively. Really a little bit longer, truthfully so, but really within the last 3 years, progressively. I've upgraded. I've made it way more upgrades than I really wanted to, but it really wasn't an issue of like me not knowing what the latest and what's supposed to be the best. But just for example, like, you know, me personally, like with the just for like a lead guitar with a combo amp with the effects as a combo amp for an electric guitar, like you know, I found, like, you know, truthfully, there was like a lot of issues that seemed to me reflect like after the William Jefferson Clinton presidential terms in office, that a lot of things weren't quite the same, and when I really kind of like really started getting a little bit serious about getting some more equipment, I was continually getting ridiculously defective programming in a lot of you know, lesser than, you know, normal $1,000 range for like most equipment would. I mean, like the real stuff, but I mean, I was like really starting out around like, you know, like a $500, like on keyboards, and give or take maybe $50, $60, something like that, depending. But you know, even at that, I mean, I had to continually send back keyboards over like defective programming and automation, or, you know, consistency in programming functions and modes. And I mean, it got extremely frustrating. So I just kind of like waited for a long time, because I kept trying different ones, and after I figured out that maybe it wasn't just like you know, a coincidence of a defective product. It was more like involving a consistency of distribution. And I wasn't for sure, truthfully, if distribution really was the issue, and where the distribution was coming from, or a manufacturer that was like a maybe somewhere, maybe even overseas, and like granted some sort of restitution to as a courtesy, of. I'm kind of wondering if the United States actually let that happen, about something about recovering what might be considered available as a I don't know if I would call it a liquidation in the sense of like not a total complete loss, and I don't know if that was maybe a stockpile of a bunch of defective stuff that had made it from overseas to the United States and was given. I'm not quite sure how to explain a lot of things, other than a lot of things that haven't been quite the same in a long time. But anyway, like it's like really picking up. Anyway, through all the years of like wanting to like learn how to play the lead guitar, like really get good. I really hadn't put that much time into it. But anyway, I knew what I had come to the preference was like the Line 6 Spider 4 electric guitar combo amp. I mean, to me, it had like the best effects, the best choice and selection and option, and the quality. I mean, was just like compared to like everything I had like looked at and listened to and actually tested and actually had for a while. Ultimately, it got to the Line 6 Spider 4, and now there's like the Line 6 Spider 5, and and truthfully, and right now it's kind of like I don't see really many people that are really involved with like a real studio recording, would truthfully even have a need for like a mobile app on a mobile phone. And I'm not real thrilled about that, because I've already had like issues possibly with like the within range thing, or some interference, or interrupted bypass, or some ridiculous like nightmare involving, and I don't want to go through that. And something like that is similar. I made calls about it and quite a bit about it. Yeah, so I mean, I don't like that kind of thing. So I was thinking that really it was staying with the Line 6 Spider 4 combo amp. Any wattage, because like I say, like the Line 6 Spider 5, it has software applications, mobile apps capabilities, and I can't see a real studio sound engineer, or like really anyone in a recording studio, even needing a mobile phone or a mobile app in any kind of way to really do live recording or post-production, really, truthfully, at all. Truthfully, I mean really, I just don't see it. I mean, even if it's computer generated, like on either a laptop or like a desktop, or even networking, but probably more so not. But whether it's like even on a desktop, before, during, and after, or changing format from like a an audio production, and like I have a Tascam 32 digital 32 channel digital Porta Studio for like a recording live audio production. And previously, like weeks before I actually purchased one, it was able to, and capable of like actually making a compact disc with like a master, or from that point post-production, maybe with a remix, could all be done and still be on a disc. Well, they converted. Now I have the one that's actually converted to like a USB. The minimum would normally be like a 2.0, or even better. As far as I'm assuming processing speed would be the 3.0 version, as far as like MP3 and MP4 format, in sequencing, maybe even with even with like music video, as well as just audio production. In that way, I'm not really too concerned. I have both. I'm actually putting in quite a bit with a recording studio in that way, and I'm wanting all the connectivity that can like personally like be handle any situation, on-site location, or just a place, a commercial building, or whatever the case may be. even with like live streaming as well as live broadcasting or on-site location, even like, you know, straight to a television station or satellite or whatever the need is. And some of the equipment that I'm looking at is like an automatic, has all the connectivity for that, and I'm trying to get set up to where I can like go straight live streaming if I want to, be on like a mobile phone, and like I'm still looking at that Sony HXR NX100 that pretty much has like all that connectivity. Yeah, as a matter of fact, that is really probably the best that I've seen so far that has, I mean, all the connectivity that really, I think, truthfully, any one involved with like music videos or, you know, whatever it might call for as far as like a performance to maybe a level that might, you know, might be something considered amongst themselves as well as anyone else, or, you know, just for the mere sake of being involved in that way at that level, or, you know, whatever the case may be, to have that connectivity for that level of like a straight to, you know, whether it be a public television, a private, or you know, a paid for cable or satellite, or, you know, or predominantly maybe even, you know, like something like directly to a live stream with like YouTube or whatever. So anyway, you know, that particular digital video camcorder, plus it has like a, I think it's a 24 optic zoom with another, I think it's another additional I think it like totals like to like on the zoom in combination with the optic zoom as well as the digital zoom, it's like I think it's like 48 times like magnification power, you know. It's like phenomenally like good. And yeah, so you know, I'm like really looking at this, it's like everything. But anyway, I have these lights in my room right here just to look at them. I have some similar but not quite the same as what you're seeing right there behind me on a wall by the air conditioner and on the mini blinds there. But yeah, so I'm just kind of like, you know, trying to get in the mood. I really had to like really sit down and like really just like trying thinking that just like not doing anything is like nice. Like I've chosen to. It's not that I've really chosen to, but really yeah, so I'm trying to actually act like I chose to, you know. Yeah, so anyway, yeah, so I'm trying to make the best of it, right, and enjoy it while I can, if that's going to be possible. Yeah, so anyway, so like I'm wanting to get in there and you know, I started making a couple of at random kind of like deals. I'm really wanting to start getting into you know, my own stuff, you know, beyond maybe what I'm already working on. It's like a, you know, I don't know if I really need to go more than maybe 300 or 400 songs. I mean really with my portfolio, I mean, if I was like to do everything I've ever done and can play like really without a problem, like my entire life was as simple and easy, more than 3,000 single individual songs of like probably more than, God, maybe even 300, you know, bands, singers, you know. In that way, I hadn't really counted that many, but truthfully, I'm sure it's probably somewhere, because as far as I counted, like really, we're just somewhere around the 80s, really ranging from like maybe, you know, with a very few bands like in the very late 60s, and even more so kind of progressively, maybe a little bit more as far as the percentage like during the 70s, but like, you know, really right towards the end of the late 70s, I would say, like the last 2 years, 78 and 79, and then the 80s is kind of like bam, you know, it's an automatic, you know, close to 150 bands just at that point. And then the 90s, you know, if there were like any new bands, you know, progressive rock bands or like rock bands, or, you know, even, you know, really truthfully, a little bit after that, I kind of like really started looking for like some serious like Christian rock, and I found some as far as like maybe a more melodic contemporary type, and that's like really good. I was like, you know, looking for like the, you know, the real hard rock back then, or progressive, but truthfully, you know, like I've said it before, like maybe it was just me and I didn't know where to look kind of like thing, because I didn't find any radio stations like, you know, that progressive rock meeting the requirements actually, you know, dictate and virtually demand. So anyway, so like anyway, I'm trying to like decide on how many songs would really be more than enough, and not so much as like God does it ever end thing. And really, you know, I'm sure that truthfully after maybe 300 songs, I mean, I'm sure someone's going to say God does it ever end, you know. And really, you know, truthfully, I mean, I might take the time just to do it, but, you know, I just want to make sure that, you know, there's going to be not any deviation from yeah, and there's like a, you know, kind of like it's almost like a you know, the portfolio itself is something that I want, that like when like musicians like predominantly in the Houston area, you know, or just like, you know, someone that can like, you know, just like go in and wherever they want, like anywhere, you know, if that's going to really be an issue, you know. But really, I'm kind of like here trying to take care of some things myself and kind of, you know, make what I am going to make of it here, or decide, you know, what's the next thing, you know. But truthfully, yeah, so I'm trying to get it done to a real good, serious, non-stop, not a contesting issue with just like any external interference or whatever the case may be, and have a thorough, progressive, and not a problem issue continually. Okay. So anyway, so as far as my portfolio goes, and which is like YouTube, I don't know if I want to actually. I don't think I'm gonna put this right here on YouTube, truthfully, but anyway, yeah, the YouTube.com Wade ASV PRIDDY. That's WADEASV PRIDDY channel on YouTube.com. Predominantly me with my lighting and quite a bit of equipment. And really, I mean, you know, like I'm saying, really, as far as like mobile apps involving audio production, like recording studio quality, I'm almost finding it hard that really any sound engineer or anyone like in the recording studio, that would probably even include musicians, most for sure, you know, the sound engineer, producers, and all of them. I can't see really anyone in, you know, the recording studio even needing a mobile app in any kind of way during, like, you know, live recording. I find it almost hard to believe that, really, truthfully, that would even be needed, like in a even a live recording, like in an arena. I'm not real thrilled about it. I'm sure that anyone can immediately like know the possibilities of something other than they themselves, you know, regardless of the password set up, or whatever the case may be. Yeah. Anyway, so like I'm gonna go beyond that point. That's why I stay as far as like the guitar amp goes, because like the Line 6 Spider 4 combo amp, as far as I'm concerned, I'm sure a lot of people feel the same way. Has the best quality as far as like the effects that are like on it as part of it and built into it, with the face of the echo, and, you know, the flange, and the combination between, you know, the blues and the crunch, and all the, you know, different types in the metal and all that, and the way the quality and the sound and everything is about it. It's like, probably I haven't found anything better than really that right there. And I went and looked at the Spider 5, and you know, as far as I found out, and when I found out, you know, that it was a mobile app, and all that, I just didn't want it, so I stayed with the Spider 4. So anyway, yeah, so anyway, I'm just kind of getting a little test here. I'm going way longer than I wanted to with this right here, but yeah, I just wanted to get a good look. I'm going to probably change and get a little bit more of an indirect lighting than a reflective, almost kind of a. Anyway, I'm going to look at the lighting here and maybe get it a little bit more the way yeah, is it the lighting? Yeah. Okay. So anyway, yeah. So anyway, there it is right there.